If there's one thing I've learned from a lifetime of screwing it up with women, it's this. The guy who wants her the most always loses. Every damn time. You think you're showing devotion. You think you're proving you're different. But to her, you're just another man begging for validation. I didn't understand it at first. I thought if I gave more, texted first, showed how much I cared, she'd finally see me, she'd choose me. But all I did was bleed my masculinity into the ground and watch her chase. Someone else. Someone who didn't give a damn, someone who didn't even try. It took years, but eventually it hit me. She doesn't want to be won. She wants to win you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to stop chasing and start being the man she chases. She doesn't want flowers. She wants friction. And not the kind you think. She wants tension. That simmering tension that only exists when she's not quite sure where she stands. When she doesn't feel like she has full access to you. Because when she's not sure, she's invested. When she's too sure, she checks out. That's what they never tell you. That the pedestal you put her on becomes the prison she wants to escape. You admire her. You praise her. You orbit her like a dog begging for scraps. And then you wonder why she pulls away. But the truth is brutal. The moment she senses you're prioritizing her more than yourself, she loses respect. And when respect dies, so does attraction. See, every guy thinks ignoring a woman means giving her the silent treatment, some half-baked game where you withhold messages and wait hours to respond. But that's not what I'm talking about. That's still neediness. That's a performance. Ignoring her isn't an act. It's a state of being. It's what happens when you've got a mission bigger than getting her attention. When your energy is no longer orbiting around her world, but grounded in your own. And the irony, that's when she feels your power. When she starts wondering where you are, what you're doing, and who you're doing it with, because she can feel that shift in you, that absence of need, that absence of approval seeking. You want to know when she becomes obsessed? When you disappear emotionally. Not ghosting her, not playing some childish, I'm too cool for you act. No, I mean when your inner world becomes so self-contained, so impenetrable, that she has no choice but to start chasing just to crack it open. Women are addicted to emotional puzzles, and most guys are open. Books written in bold font, but the man who reveals nothing unless she earns it, that man becomes the mountain she has to climb. Let me tell you about a moment that changed everything for me. I was out with this girl, absolute stunner, the kind of woman who makes heads turn when she walks in. We were 3 dates in. She said to me, "You're hard to read." I laughed, not because I was playing a role, but because it was true. I wasn't there trying to impress. I wasn't trying to seduce. I was just me, focused on my life, focused on my goals. She was just another beautiful woman sharing the ride for now. That night, she couldn't keep her hands off me. Why? Because she felt the one thing most men are too scared to give her: indifference to outcome. You want her to chase you? Stop making her your goal. Make your mission the goal. If you're checking your phone wondering why she hasn't replied, she can feel it. If you're adjusting your behavior hoping she'll approve, she can smell it. Women are predators of energy, and neediness is blood in the water. You don't ignore her because you're trying to manipulate her. You ignore her because you're locked in, you're grounded, you're so rooted in your own gravity that unless someone adds value, you keep moving forward. And guess what? That gravitational pull is what draws her in. The moment you stop trying to get her, you start becoming the kind of man she wants to get. You don't do it for her. You do it because you refuse to be a man who bends his spine for attention. You do it because you know that every time you lean forward too much, she steps back. It's not cruelty. It's biology. She wants to feel like she's earning your time, your presence, your energy. She wants to feel like she's being chosen, not handed your attention on a silver platter. And here's where it gets real dark, real fast. Because some of you will hear this and try to fake it. You'll hold back your texts, delay your replies, copy-paste some alpha routine you saw on Reddit. But underneath it all, you're still that same guy hoping she likes you, still that same boy trying to be enough. And that's why it never works. Because it's not about the behavior, it's about the source of the behavior. When your core belief is still, "I need her to want me," she'll sniff it out instantly. But when your core belief is, "I am complete with or without her," you don't have to do anything. You just are. That's real power. That's real magnetism. And that's when the chase begins. Not because you tried to trigger it, but because you were too busy living your damn life to notice. I'll tell you something that'll punch you in the gut if you're honest with yourself. Most men don't want women. They want to be wanted. They crave the feeling of being desired because deep down, they don't value themselves unless a woman validates them. That's why they bend over backwards. That's why they chase. That's why they orbit. Because their self-worth is tied to whether or not she approves. But you're here because you're tired of that. You're sick of performing. You're sick of shrinking yourself. You want to know how to actually become the man she can't stop thinking about. Then you better burn this into your skull. When your self-worth is internal, you stop chasing because you already feel whole. The most powerful shift you'll ever make is this. She's not the prize. You are. And not in some corny Instagram quote way. I mean in the visceral, bone-deep realization that your time, your attention, your life matters. That she's lucky to be invited into your world. That if she's not adding something real, something feminine, something magnetic, you'll keep walking without a second thought. Because here's the brutal truth. If you put her on a pedestal, she'll look down on you. Every time. Now let's pull the curtain back and look at the real mechanics behind attraction. You think attraction happens when you give her everything she wants. You think it sparks when you respond right away, say the right thing, never offend her, never challenge her, never push back. That's what you were told. But what you were told was wrong. Attraction is tension. It's uncertainty. It's friction. The electricity is born in the space between you, not in collapsing into her. And that's why ignoring her, when done from the right place, is so powerful. Because it creates space. It makes her wonder. It gives her something to chase. But that space has to be earned. By you first. You can't fake it. You can't act confident while secretly obsessing. You can't play hard to get when all you do is refresh your messages waiting for a text. You either are rooted in yourself or you're not. And if you're not, you'll keep bleeding out energy trying to get something from her that should have been built in you. You want her to crave you, then build a life she'd be lucky to be a part of, and stay so focused on that mission that she has to fight for a place in it. You see, when you ignore her, not with spite but with self-prioritization, you flip the dynamic. You're no longer chasing her approval because you're already grounded in your purpose. And that shift doesn't just change the way she sees you, it changes the way you see her. Suddenly she's not this goddess on a throne, she's just another woman. Beautiful, sure, but not your oxygen, not your validation source, not your reason for waking up in the morning. And the second you internalize that, her behavior shifts. She starts investing. She starts trying, she starts reaching out, wondering why you're not chasing her like every other guy. Let me be real with you for a second. There's a type of power that makes women weak. Not because it's manipulative, not because it's toxic, but because it's rare. That power is stillness. That centered, immovable, I know who I am kind of presence. When a man walks through life with quiet certainty, with a spine that doesn't bend for attention, he radiates something most women only dream about: stability. Not financial, not emotional coddling, I'm talking about masculine solidity. The kind of man who doesn't flinch, who doesn't try, who doesn't need. That's why she chases you when you stop needing her. Because it's in that space that she feels your absence of desperation. And that absence, that's magnetic. It's addictive. It's intoxicating. Because you're not just another guy clawing at her. You're the one who could walk away and mean it. And that scares her in the best way. It ignites that ancient part of her that's wired to pursue the strongest male, the one she can't control, the one she can't read, the one who makes her feel not in control for once. But here's the challenge. Most of you think you can get there just by watching a video. You think you'll flip a mental switch and suddenly become the guy she chases. But transformation doesn't happen in theory. It happens in pain, in repetition, in rejection, in solitude, in hitting rock bottom, and finally, deciding, no more chasing, no more begging, no more performing, just being, solid, focused, free. Because once you've tasted what it's like to live without needing anyone's validation, especially a woman's, you'll never go back. You'll never again hand your power over in exchange for scraps of affection. You'll see every compliment, every smile, every offer of attention for what it is, a bonus, not a necessity. And in that state, you become unshakable. She can flirt, she can ignore, she can test, and you just keep moving forward. Not because you're playing a game, but because you have a mission, because your masculinity is too sacred to be spent on someone who hasn't earned it. So don't just ignore her. Transcend her, not with hate, Not with arrogance, but with indifference rooted in self-respect. Become the man who doesn't chase, because he doesn't need to. Here's a truth that'll slap you across the face if you've got the guts to hear it. The second you stop treating her like she's rare, she starts treating you like you are. You don't attract her by convincing her. You don't impress her into desire. Attraction isn't logical, it's primal, it's unconscious. And neediness? That's the biggest repellent to her biology. You could have looks, money, even status, but if your energy screams, "Please pick me," her body shuts off. Her instincts tell her, "This man is beneath me, this man is weak," and women don't submit to weak. She may like your attention, she may even milk it, but she won't desire you. That's the difference. A woman can keep you around for the ego boost, the favors, the validation, and still fantasize about the guy who never texts her back. That guy who's too busy building his empire to play texting games. That guy who doesn't flinch when she tries to bait him. That guy whose time feels earned, not offered. That's the man she dreams about at night, even while replying to your good morning messages out of boredom. And if that stings, good. Let it wake you up. You see, most men are addicted to the chase not because they love women, but because they hate themselves. They chase approval because deep down they feel unworthy. And they think, if I just get her, if I just make her love me, maybe I'll finally feel enough. But you never will. Not through her, not through sex, not through love. That empty feeling, that "I'm still not complete" ache, it won't go away until you stop outsourcing your self-worth. And the second you stop doing that, women feel it. They feel that shift. You go from being a performer to being a presence, and that presence, that's rare, that's intoxicating. So when I say ignore her, I'm not talking about acting cold or cruel. I'm talking about disconnecting your self-worth from her response. I'm talking about being so locked into your own purpose, your own mission, your own self-respect, that whether she texts back or disappears, your day doesn't change, your direction doesn't shift, your identity stays the same. Because you're not here to be chosen, you're here to choose. And that flips the entire script. Most guys walk around with this unconscious question, "Do you like me?" But the man who understands this flips it. "Do I like you?" That subtle switch in your mindset is everything. It transforms every interaction. Suddenly you're not reacting, you're evaluating. You're not trying to impress, you're observing. You're not trying to earn her, you're deciding if she earns you. And the second she feels that, she's hooked. Because she knows you're the real deal, not pretending, not performing, just standing in your truth, unshaken. Now let's talk about tests. Because once a woman senses that strength in you, she'll test it. Every woman does. It's not malicious, it's instinct. She needs to know, is this guy for real? Is he just putting on a show, or is he truly grounded? That's why she'll say things like, "You must be a player," or "Why didn't you respond yesterday?" or "You're so full of yourself." And most guys fold. They explain, they defend, they apologize, and in doing so they lose the very attraction they were building. But the man with zero neediness, he doesn't flinch, he smirks, he teases, he stays unshaken. Because her test isn't an attack, it's an invitation to prove who you are by not trying to prove anything. That's the paradox. The more you defend yourself, the guiltier you look. But when you embrace the accusation, flip it, and throw it back with playfulness or silence, she melts. Why? Because she just tasted your power, your detachment, your unbreakable frame. And here's what you need to understand. Ignoring her isn't about silence, it's about stillness, emotional stillness, psychological calm, that unbothered state where her mood doesn't dictate yours, her absence doesn't unbalance you, her coldness doesn't ignite panic. You just are, grounded, focused, on your path. And from that place, everything shifts. She leans in, she tries harder, she texts first. Not because you manipulated her, but because you gave her the one thing she can't resist, a challenge wrapped in presence. So don't let the world tell you that being nice is the way. Don't buy the lie that more effort equals more attraction. You've already tried that, and you know where it leads. Friend zone, ghosting, emotional crumbs. What she wants, what she craves, is a man who can walk away and never look back. A man who doesn't chase, because he's too busy being chased by his own destiny. Because here's the final truth I'll leave you with. When you stop orbiting women, they start orbiting you. She doesn't want to be your world. She wants to be pulled into a world that already exists. A world you built without her. A mission you were already on, a rhythm, a fire, a structure that doesn't skip a beat just because she walked into the room. And if she leaves, that fire still burns, that mission still marches on, that rhythm never breaks. Because the second you let her become the center of your emotional universe, you lose her. You don't lose her physically at first. No, that comes later. First, you lose her respect. And once respect dies, attraction follows like a body behind a bullet. It's brutal, but it's reality. The more you need her attention, the more she pulls it away. The more you need her to text back, the longer she'll make you wait. The more emotionally exposed you become without her earning it, the more invisible you become in her mind. Why? Because your value isn't just in what you say or do. It's in your scarcity, in how difficult it is to truly get to you. Every man is available. Every man is desperate to be seen. Every man is ready to throw his masculinity away for a slice of female approval. But not you, not anymore. The man who understands this doesn't rush in. He doesn't reveal everything. He doesn't open his chest and say, "Here, take my heart." He observes. He measures. He lets her do the work, not because he's cold, but because he respects his energy, because he knows what he brings to the table, and if she doesn't see it, he'll eat alone. You want her to think about you at night, be the man she couldn't fully read, the one who didn't fall into her hands, the one she couldn't categorize. That ambiguity, that mystery, it haunts her, not because you're playing games, but because you're unavailable in all the right ways. Your attention is earned, your time is filtered, your validation is rare, and that, my friend, is the new currency of male power. So let's break this illusion one last time. You think being a good guy will win her? You think texting every day, buying flowers, showing constant availability will make her feel safe enough to fall in love? Wake up. That's not safety. That's desperation dressed as romance. And the more you give without her earning it, the more you train her to devalue you. Because deep down, she doesn't want access. She wants adventure. She doesn't want to know what you'll do next. She wants to guess. She wants the chase, the tension, the unpredictability of a man whose life is already full, and unless she adds to it, she doesn't get to stay in it. That's the secret. Ignoring her isn't silence. It's presence. It's sovereignty. It's the bold declaration that your life isn't something she gets to interrupt. It's something she must qualify for. And when she senses that, she either rises or vanishes. But either way, you stay grounded. You stay unbothered. You stay untouchable. Because the truth is, you don't make her obsessed by doing more. You make her obsessed by needing less. The less you need from her, the more power you hold. The more power you hold, the more gravity you radiate. And gravity isn't loud. It isn't flashy. It doesn't beg. It just pulls, effortlessly, unshakably, relentlessly. That's what makes her chase. Not words, not gifts, not empty gestures, but your refusal to need her. Because the man who needs nothing from her is the man she'll do anything to earn.